Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. So in this session, we are going to discuss about two things, which is redeploy and reapply in the VM. So let's start. So generally what happens if you go to the VM, if you just go to the VM and it can be any VM, it can be Windows based or it can be Linux based. If you just open the VM, you will find that if you scroll down to the left, in the bottom there is one option which is redeploy and reapply. So under the help you can see redeploy plus reapply. So what does this option mean? So what is the meaning of this option? So let's understand. So during the troubleshooting, this option will help you a lot. Like, let's suppose if there is any issue with the VM, so this option will help you in that troubleshooting. For example, if you are unable to take the remote of the virtual machine, or if your virtual machine is not loading in the environment, or if there is any fatal error. So during any kind of error related to the access, related to the loading, these two options are going to help you. So you can say that these are the troubleshooting options. And during the interviews also, the interviewer may focus on these two options as well. Like he can ask you what is the difference between redeploy and reapply, or he can give you the scenario that I am suppose not able to access the VM, the remote is not happening. So what kind of troubleshooting you will perform? So when I will make the troubleshooting series separately, then I will focus more on the troubleshooting aspects. But because these two words are very important in the general sense also, and in the troubleshooting also, that's why I would like to cover it right now as well. So what happens if there is any issue with the VM and you are not able to take the remote, or if you are getting any error on the screen? So these options are going to play a very important role. So very first thing is reapply. Here you can see the option is reapply, and on the top you can see the option redeploy. So what is the difference? So if your VM is in failed state. Let's suppose you try to load the VM. You are trying to start the VM and there is some error on the screen. अब VM start करने का try कर रहे हो and screen पे कुछ error आ रहा है. So in that condition, if there is any fatal error, if there is any provisioning error, if there is a black screen and you cannot see anything. So in those conditions, you can first do the reapply. So the troubleshooting would be reapply. You can just go to this option of that VM and you can just click on the reapply option. So when you will click on the reapply, so it is going to perform the rerun of the provisioning. Means आपके VM को दोबारा से ये provision करेगा, पूरे operating system को repair करेगा. It will repair the VM state, and if the issue was related to the operating system, or if there was any fatal, any boot error, then this issue is going to get fixed with the help of reapply. So very first thing, if you are getting any fatal error on the screen, if there is any other error like related to any boot file, related to any uh, other source file, or if there is a black screen, you are not able to start the VM. So in that condition, you can perform the reapply. Another option is redeploy. So in case the reapply does not fix the issue, अगर reapply करने से issue fix नहीं होता है, then you can go with the redeploy option. So what the redeploy is going to do? So when you perform the redeploy, it is going to change the host of the virtual machine from one host to another host. For example, we all know that whenever we deploy the virtual machine in Azure or in any cloud environment, so what happens generally? So there is a physical data center of Microsoft, and in the physical data center, there are racks. So racks will be there, as you can see in this image. So these are the racks. So in the physical data center of the Microsoft, there will be racks. इस टाइप से racks लगी होगी वहां पे. And in the racks, there will be multiple servers connected like this. So these kind of servers will be connected on the racks. And whenever I deploy any virtual machine, जब कभी भी मैं कोई virtual machine deploy करता हूँ, for example, I have chosen UK South as a region for the deployment. So my VM is going to get installed or deployed in any one of the physical server physical host in the UK South region. सो यूके साउथ के अंदर कोई भी एक रैक में कोई भी एक फिजिकल सर्वर होगा जिसके अंदर मेरी वीएम जाके डिप्लॉय होगी. फॉर एग्जांपल, मान लो मेरी जो वीएम है, इट इज सपोज, लेट मी चूज द राइट वन. या इट इज या For example, let's take this one. So suppose my VM is installed here. मान लो मेरी जो VM है जो Azure पे चल रही है वो physical host यहाँ पे आके installed है. So it is installed here. There can be chances that there is some issue with the physical host as well. ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि इस physical host में कोई issue हो, and because of that I am not able to take the remote of my server. और उसकी वजह से जो है मैं अपने सर्वर का रिमोट नहीं ले पा रहा. सो दिस पॉसिबिलिटी कैन बी देयर दैट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस द रिमोट इज नॉट हैपनिंग. सो इन दैट कंडीशन, what we can do, we can perform the redeploy. So redeploy करने से क्या होगा? Once I will do the redeployment, so redeployment is going to change the host of my VM. मतलब मेरे VM को यहाँ से हटा के it will migrate to another physical host. हो सकता है वो उसको यहाँ move कर दे, हो सकता है वो उसको दूसरे physical server पे move कर दे. So if the issue was because of the physical server, अगर फिजिकल सर्वर के इशू की वजह से मैं रिमोट नहीं ले पा रहा था या फिर कोई एक्सेस इशू आ रहा था, सो इफ आई विल डू द रीडिप्लॉय, सो रीडिप्लॉय इज गोइंग टू फिक्स दैट इशू बिकॉज फिजिकल होस्ट मेरा अब चेंज हो चुका है. मेरी वीएम यहां से मूव होके किसी दूसरे होस्ट पे माइग्रेट हो जाएगी, and that will solve my issue. So this is also one of the part of troubleshooting, and with redeployment the host of the VM can be changed. It can be migrated to another physical host. So that is the meaning of redeploy. और रीडिप्लॉय करने से एक इम्पैक्ट आएगा कि अगर आपके वीएम पे जो आईपी है, इफ इट इज डायनेमिक, अगर वो स्टैटिक आईपी नहीं है, इफ इट इज डायनेमिक आईपी ऑन योर वीएम, सो दैट आईपी विल गेट चेंज्ड आफ्टर द रीडिप्लॉय. अगर आप रीडिप्लॉय करोगे तो आपके सर्वर पे अगर डायनेमिक आईपी है, इफ इट इज नॉट स्टैटिक, सो इट इज गोइंग टू गेट चेंज्ड, वो चेंज हो जाएगी. प्लस देर इज अ टेम्पररी डिस्क इन द वीएम. जैसा कि मैंने लास्ट टाइम बताया था आपको, एक टेम्पररी डिस्क होती है. सो टेम्पररी डिस्क में जो भी डेटा है, once you will perform the redeploy, that will get erased, that will get lost. वो सारा डेटा वहां पे lost हो जाएगा. So that is one of the impact which will happen after the redeploy, and generally we use it during the troubleshooting. So you can see their description as well. Try redeploying your virtual machine, which will migrate it to the new Azure host. और temporary disk में जो भी data है, that is going to get lost. And when the redeployment will be in the progress, so machine will not be available. Means during the process of redeploy, because the migration is happening from one physical host to another host, so the VM will not be available. You will not be able to work on the VM. And in the reapply case also, because the provisioning is happening, so it will stress on your compute capacity. So of course the VM is not available. एंड जनरली दोनों ही केस में वीएम अवेलेबल नहीं होती है, तभी आके हम ट्रबल शूटिंग कर रहे हैं. दैट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द रीजन. सो वी कैन नॉट से दैट वीएम इज गोइंग टू गेट अवेलेबल. सो वीएम अवेलेबल होती भी नहीं है इस केसेस में. सो दिस वाज वन ऑफ द ऑप्शन about the troubleshooting, and these are very important options, so you must know about it. So hope you understood. In case there is any query, you can just drop a message to me in the comment box and I will reply. So for now, let's wrap up this session. So thank you very much for your timing. See you in the next session. Bye.